welcome to my channel. I'm Sam and I've been working in tech as an instructional designer for about 5 years now. I get a lot of questions in my DMs about skills that I recommend either brushing up on or learning in order to become an instructional designer. And so I thought I would share those with you in this video. This is by no means a comprehensive list, but I do think this is a good starting point because these are skills that I've used in every single job that I've had as an instructional designer. So if this sounds good to you, give this video a thumbs up and let's get into it. So the first skill that I'd recommend is curriculum development and design. And this includes like establishing your learning objectives, being able to write and identify your learner outcomes, being able to collaborate with different people who have different knowledge, be able to gather that knowledge from them and then, draft a nice course outline. It also includes being able to design and develop your course content in a way that aligns with your learning outcomes and your learning goals. Now, if you're coming from an education background, most of this will feel familiar to you, designing course content, establishing your learning objectives. But one thing that I've found is really, really important is being able to actually create drafts of the content, create outlines of the content that are really clear and easy to share amongst a lot of people. Because when you're writing your training content for an instructional design role, it's not just you who's editing this content. Now it's someone in product marketing, someone in engineering, who are all going to be looking at your content to give it feedback and make sure that what you're writing is accurate from a technical perspective, and also that it aligns with the business values and what type of marketing and messaging we want to have for this training content. I know from personal experience as a teacher, a lot of the content kind of originated in my brain, and then it would just come straight from my brain into worksheets or into labs, but I had no kind of intermediate drafting steps. And so I just think that it's important to be able to, as you're developing your curriculum, make sure that you're documenting everything. And if you're not coming from an education background, I will link a bunch of resources down below. There's courses and different books that I recommend that will help you gain these skills. The second skill I'd recommend is video editing. I find that in my job, I edit videos in some capacity at least a few times a month. It could be course videos, or it could be promotional marketing videos that maybe we recorded as a one-off and want to put on our training website's front page. Now, if you're new to video editing, there are software that come for free on your computer. I know for a Mac, you get iMovie. If you're using Windows, I think it's Windows Video Editor. There's also free apps you can download just to kind of play around and, watch YouTube videos on how to use these different video editing softwares. And then I'd recommend actually creating tutorials so that you can have different examples of your work to showcase. I'd also recommend becoming familiar with 2 video editing softwares in particular. The first is Camtasia, and the second is Adobe Premiere Pro. These are the 2 primary video editing softwares that are paid and are kind of expensive, but you'll be using as an instructional designer. I'd recommend signing up for a free trial for the software. You probably get it for anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, and then taking all of their training courses, because both of these softwares I know have really extensive libraries of training content. Learning the basics of these video editing software just so you're familiar with them, because those are going to be things that interviewers ask you for, do you have experience with Camtasia or Adobe Premiere Pro? So try a free trial of them and play around with them, build your own projects, and you'd be surprised at how familiar video editing can feel after a few videos that you create. So the next skill that I'd recommend honing in on is writing, and more specifically technical writing and blog form type writing. When you're creating training content, the writing style is a bit different than you're used to if you're coming from a college background, or if you've been doing extensive creative writing. When you're writing for a customer education or an instructional design audience, your writing is going to be very straightforward, no fluff, very clear cut and to the point. And that's why I'd recommend taking some sort of technical writing course. I really love the Google technical writing course. You can take a lot of their pre-work for free, and you can also sign up for their every few months they have like a training seminar. And I think that's a really great intro to technical writing. I'd also recommend actually writing your own blog posts because you get really good experience by actually creating and writing different blog posts and then publishing them either on your blog or like a larger platform like Medium or Substack, where you can actually get feedback from people and just get practice writing. I think it's really important to be open to feedback, and if you are just starting writing, you're going to be getting a ton of feedback. That's okay. Just be aware that there is a learning curve for every skill, and so you need to be comfortable with getting that feedback. So the next skill that I'd recommend honing in on, and this is maybe not 100% necessary, but I really think this will give you a leg up when you're applying for jobs, is to learn basic web development and web design skills. I'm not saying you need to be like a full-time web developer, but I do think that becoming familiar with HTML, CSS, and even JavaScript can really give you a leg up. And I've actually found that in my past 3 jobs, I've had to use HTML and CSS and JavaScript to enhance the platform that we use to host all of our training courses. And so, the people who manage our platforms might not be familiar with that, but because I was able to kind of step in and modify things in the code, actually, I found that that was a really useful skill to have. I've found also that you'll never really know when those skills will come in handy. They come in handy in like really odd, not explicit times as an instructional designer, but I'm really glad that I have those skills in my back pocket. Sorry for the lighting change, but the next skill you should kind of want to brush up on, or at least get some experience with, is being able to use different course building softwares to build out an online course. So it could be like Articulate 360 Suite, it could be Adobe Captivate, just different softwares that IDs use to build their courses. So in previous roles, I've used, Articulate 360 Suite, which includes Rise, which includes Storyline. All of these you can, request a free trial for 30 days, I think, and play around with it at least to become familiar with it. You can also do the same for Adobe Captivate and other different course building softwares, because when you're applying for these instructional design jobs, they're going to want to know if you're familiar with these course building softwares, because they might not be using them at the moment, but they might want to use them going forward. So they'll want to know if you've at least had experience playing around and building things with those tools. So those are some of the skills that I'd recommend brushing up on if you want to become an instructional designer. I'm really curious, what classes are you taking? What skills are you learning right now? Please let us know down in the comments below so that we can take a look and maybe we can try learning them too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. I will see you in my next video. Bye.